beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Hey everybody, welcome to another edition, Power to the People. I'm just going live there we go, on social media. So if you're not in Buffalo, no, we do not have a storm still. Everybody's waiting for a storm. Thank God. We just got a little dusting. Now, I went up to Rochester the other night, and I don't know if it is. I am so much more paranoid about driving in the snow now than ever. I don't know why. Yeah, I was on the 90, and I don't know. The road was covered, and I couldn't tell what was snow, what was ice.
Yeah.
And people are just, I don't know. I drive a small SUV, but I didn't feel, I don't know. I just didn't feel secure, and I kept imagining me being one in the ditch. Because I've been there before.
I'm not going to lie. You were asking me about the trip coming back up through 81 in the mountains. Yeah. It was the same kind of way. And I was like, well, where's DOT? And then you would see like one plow for every 20 miles. And it's not a tandem plow. So it's just one doing one lane and looping. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is treacherous. Yeah.
So I'm not the only one
who's
paranoid in this season. And I think because people are driving so erratically and, you know, people are zooming. Now, the speed limit, of course, is 65.
No one does 65 on 90.
I did under 65 when I can't tell whether I'm on ice or whether. Now, coming back, everything was fine. Even my car got confused. I can summon my car. It was raining.
Okay.
So I can summon the car to the door.
Okay.
And I've done it before, but it's a little embarrassing and can seem a little extra. So basically, I'm standing at the door, and you push something, and you hold it. You have to hold it.
Okay.
And the car will come to pick you up. But if there's no lane markers, sometimes it like picks you up straight ahead, so you look really dumb. And so, good old Elon Musk, I go to summon my car, and my car goes in the opposite direction.
Oh, shoot.
Towards another Tesla.
Oh,
yeah, it was really scary. Then that night it updated. So I don't know if there was a bug, but you know, ultimately I would have been responsible, regardless of whether you're in it or not. But can you imagine sitting in a car and a car is coming at you with no driver in it?
Oh, it's terrifying.
Speaking of Elon Musk, now this ain't come from God, so don't take this as prophetically. But this is what I see in the cards. I see Elon Musk, and again, this ain't no church prophecy. I ain't in the pulpit. I'm on the radio. I see Elon Musk and Trump falling out soon. I don't mean like in the next week, but within a year.
I can see it. I can believe it.
It's brewing right now.
It's two of the same personalities, too close.
It's brewing right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's paying attention. The government has until tonight, the federal government, to agree on a spending plan.
Yeah.
Or the federal government will be in a shutdown. Now, I'm going to talk about what that means and what it doesn't mean. Doesn't mean that everything is going to stop, but some essential things could stop or be on pause because some people will be laid off. Furloughed.
Yep.
And other people will have to work without pay.
Yes.
And we're going to go through this a little bit, but here's where this little bromance is breaking down. Elon gets on, Elon has his X.
Yes.
Trump has his Truth Media.
Right.
Elon gets on X and basically says, let the daggone thing shut down. Trump is trying to figure out a way to not shut down at first.
Right.
Elon goes on X and says shut down. And Trump now is kind of edging toward what Elon wants. Now, what is being said is Elon Musk is the president and Trump is his chief of staff.
Oh, shoot.
Now,
That's not going
to. I got to bring up the.
That's not going to work.
So Trump is trying to make it very clear that he is the president of the United States.
Oh, of course he is.
However, Elon Musk is making all of these, saying stuff on X without, now, Trump is a very strong leader.
Yes.
Very alpha, very go through me, anybody who works with me or for me.
Right.
And Elon ain't doing that. Elon Musk is going, it's all over the press. Matter of fact, one of the, all over the national press, of course, the local press ain't even talking about. So they are all, oh, wait a minute. Something is coming up. Johnson moves forward on spending Plan C. They on Plan C now. Whew. Elon, if this doesn't happen, Johnson it may be a move on Johnson to get him out of power, which he basically is especially in a minute when the Republicans have everything.
After all he's done,
who
he's gonna get rid of Johnson?
Yeah, they're
he was kissing the ring and the toes.
Whoever Elon wants is where it's gonna be. Trump renews demand to remove debt ceiling. They want to get rid of the debt ceiling. Johnson moves forward. So let me read the latest. And when I say the latest, this is hot off the press, just filed a few minutes ago, 34 minutes ago. Johnson moves forward on spending Plan C, breaking up the bills, which is something that I believe the incoming president wanted. Speaker Mike Johnson has moved on to a Plan C to avert a government shutdown, breaking up each piece to pass them separately. So, basically, instead of voting on one big spending bill,
right,
they are now pulling out sections that they can agree on, which I agree
Makes
with.
sense.
Don't shut down the whole government because you couldn't get all of the bathwater.
Right.
Under the House GOP latest plan, Republicans will try to pass 3 separate bills: stopgap funding legislation within a 1-year farm bill extension, money for recent natural disasters, which North Carolina definitely needs it, and aid for farmers. According to 2 people with direct knowledge, a showdown deadline is now about 12 hours at midnight. The new plan will test his ability to wrangle his conference. But it is really, let me see. See, now this is what's on the headlines, and I really want.
And I was getting ready to say,
and
the most important thing that people sometimes have to realize is, for some outgoing congressman, this is the last vote they're going to take.
Yeah.
So some are going to try to make this their last ditch effort, grandstand it, because this is it for them. Some of them got voted out. Some got newcomers coming in. So
absolutely,
it's going to be very interesting.
So this is off of a government, and we got, I was about to say Congressman, Councilmember White. A government shutdown happens when, and this is from Congressman Susan Wild's page. I just picked something that was credible. When Congress does not pass appropriation bills that finance the operation of the government for the upcoming fiscal year. These bills are designed to fund the government until the conclusion of each fiscal year, which is actually September 30th. Mm-hmm. If Congress is unable to pass appropriation bills that are then signed into law by the president on March 1st. So it's signed at March 1st at 11:59. The government will begin to shut down. The most recent CR created a 2-tier deadline for government, and I'm not going to go into all that. My office, she says her offices remain open. I need to get off a politician's page. But we have been here before.
Multiple times.
We've been here before. And so we should, what happens if the federal government, I want it from another credible, shuts down. I want it from another credible source and not from the page of a politician who's saying my office won't shut down. Well, you can't. You can't. I mean, you still got to serve your constituents, ma'am, so that ain't a big deal. A government shutdown occurred. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This means hundreds of thousands of federal employees would be furloughed, temporarily, it says, laid off. Essential workers, including military personnel, would continue working, and this is unfair, without pay.
Yes.
Now, folks, here's my problem. the military, whether you know it or not, people think when you're in the military you're making all this money. You're not. You're an average Joe.
Right.
If you're married, you get BAS and BAQ, basically food for your family, money for your family, and for rent. That's it.
Right.
You're not making millions of dollars. So these are people who many live paycheck to paycheck and who actually protect our country. I think that should be changed. I think the military should always be paid.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Essential workers, including military personnel, will continue working without pay. Many government offices will close or have reduced hours. Continuing services, Social Security checks will still be issued. So everybody don't worry about Social Security, although I know Social Security ain't that social. Medicare and Medicaid payments will continue. Essential services like traffic control and law enforcement will continue. Then why not the military?
Right.
If this information is correct, and I can tell you where it came from, so that
But is that will continue without pay or with pay? Does it specify?
so essential services, it doesn't say. It doesn't say in this where this was cited from.
Because
ahead.
and while you're still reading, I thought because one of the shutdowns, I thought TSA workers still had to work even without pay in the airports, and they just reduced staffed or something during one of the shutdowns
I'll
previously.
look it up. Social Security benefit verification and card issuance would stop. Environmental Protection Agency, Food and Drug Administration inspections would likely cease. National parks may close or have limited services.
They do close.
Passport and visa processing would be delayed, could be delayed. Employees would receive back pay once the government reopens. There could be delays in tax refunds. Oh, don't mess with the refund. Well,
I ain't seen
push
one
back
that got
right. Push back the date in which we got to pay.
Yeah, push that to never.
Well, I don't know why the people who need stuff the most got to suffer when multimillionaires don't pass a budget. Because they're not going to suffer.
No.
There are so many millionaires in Congress.
Absolutely.
They're not going to suffer, so they don't taste this.
No, not at all.
It is important to note that while a government shutdown is disruptive, it differs from a government default. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to that. We had a government shutdown. So I just wanted to bring people up to speed that if you going to Tahiti, Bahamas, Cancun, you may not be going there if you ain't got that passport. And check your passport, because I have got ready to go to the airport in the past.
Yeah.
And looked at my passport.
I second that.
You've done that?
Yes,
and
sir.
it was expired. You remember my time?
Yes, sir.
I have
I
gone
too.
through it. My daughter has gone through it. Check your passport, because you might not be getting it. If you're going to get TSA pre-check, you better get it. You better get it by midnight.
By midnight.
You better get it.
Better get a
Because
Paul and
after
Silas
January,
miracle.
your passport might be late, and your T-move gonna be late.
You might be deported.
You might be.
Man.
They gonna round them up.
Yes, they are.
They are going to round them up. So yeah, there is this. Yeah, it ain't going the best because Elon keeps on getting on the news. I mean, going on his and think about it. He can talk to millions upon millions of people in a text, like right away. And he's setting these policies that are not real. I mean, not setting policies, but he's saying a lot of stuff. So I'm telling you, this is not gonna go well. They're not gonna get along for a long time. And when that happens, Elon gonna go wild. Trump is gonna go wilder, and we just gonna
we going back to that whole time when every day it seemed like it was some type of fiasco. I mean, we going back to the world terms, man, and government, the United States government. Every day is something going on. It's like, we got used to back to the normalcy of how government is supposed to function. Government is supposed to not supposed to be in the news every day, every single day. What is going on?
Well, it will be. I mean, it's been quiet, and what's about to happen. Now, I'm going to say this. I am not against a government shakeup. I do think that many people, well, obviously the majority of people in the United States want something shaked up.
Absolutely.
Shook up. Washington Post. Co-president Elon Musk,
Co-president?
Oh God.
Trump ally tests influence in spending fight. Seth Meyers says Donald Trump got cable guyed by Elon Musk. Shutdown looms, stopgap. Where do Musk and Trump stand after the spectacle? Like, it's a lot. It's just not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Speaking of this, let me go to, do I want to talk about stimulus money yet? I'm going to be talking about the ARP money in a minute, and my grave concern, but also some levity. I like to bring levity to conversation, talk about both sides. So I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to come back to that because that's going to take up our last half hour. So Amazon is on strike, but the Amazon people said they're not on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Did you see the people from Amazon? So the workers at Amazon, many of the Amazon plants, we just gonna be messed up.
All over.
On the first day of Christmas, I did not get my gift
No.
because Amazon went on strike.
Yeah, seriously. I was. That was because you said it was a crazy dynamic. I was in the barbershop and they had on Atlanta news and they were like, yeah, we're standing outside of an Amazon distribution site and the workers are on strike. But an Amazon representative said, these aren't Amazon workers. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, only 1% of Amazon is actually unionized and none of these workers work at Amazon. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, because a friend of mine works for Amazon, and I said, aren't you guys on strike? No, that's the people in New York City. Okay. I'm confused.
So there's a few Amazon workers on strike. Not everybody is represented by the union.
Okay.
Right.
These are folks who are, I don't know how to put it, they work for Amazon, but they're second tier, like they drive independently. So if you've ever seen some of the Amazon packages being delivered out of people's cars.
Yeah.
Like regular cars.
Yes.
I saw a dude in a compact car the other day delivering an Amazon package.
My godbrother did it for a while in Delaware. Yep.
So a lot of these are these people, according to what I saw in the news today. And so they're saying like, hey, we're not making enough as a second driver. And really, and so they're out there, and the representative from Amazon was on CNN today, and she says, oh, Amazon ain't on strike. they on strike, but
we not.
Our workers ain't on strike. We still
I was confused.
putting out Elf on the Shelf.
Absolutely.
We still putting it out there. So Amazon on strike. Now, I don't drink Starbucks, so I don't care about them being on strike. That's the worst coffee. You do like, that's like mud. It's like mud, liquid mud. Look, and you drinking it now, advertising for them. Now, are you part of the cancel culture? Either of you?
The what?
Cancel culture. That's where when somebody does something politically you don't like, you cancel them. Like people who, so people say, well, you shouldn't drive a Tesla because we don't like Elon Musk.
Okay.
Or people say, like I was going to Walmart the other day and I was on the phone with somebody and they were like, oh, you going to Walmart?
Trump
and I was like, yeah, I'm going to Walmart. Oh, you know the Walmart family, the Walton family supported Trump.
The Trump Mart, yeah.
Then and here's the crazy thing. I was going from in a Tesla. I'm all messed up. In a Tesla, and by the way, I do always own an American car. It is American, but I would rather be in a unionized American car because this car almost hits stuff. In going to Walmart, I'm on the phone, and then after I finish at Walmart, I say, I got to run to Hobby Lobby. Well, why did I say that?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother one.
Here they are again. You going to Hobby Lobby, you know he supported, and I'm like, listen. Are you a part of that culture?
No.
Are you that deep?
No, I'm not.
You that deep?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I was on my road trip listening to Bad Boy a little bit on the way back. So no, absolutely not.
It's kind of, sometimes it's just kind of bizarre. Like we just opened up another food store, a grocery store on Bailey.
Right, I saw it.
So when somebody said, oh, those Arabs. I'm like, but we need food. So do I care if they're Arab or who? We need a store where we can get food. So we talked about food deserts. Now you have one is because of the person, but we don't say that about the people that own Tops or Wegmans. And it's just, come on now. Come on.
Well, I got a lot to say about that, but I won't take up the show. Because at the end of the day, and Carlonda said this, if you remember, and she said it publicly, there was a mosque, not a mosque, it was like a meeting room they wanted to open up in the Ellicott district in a house, and they were repairing it and all that. Some people were coming out. We don't want, now it wasn't that, and I don't want to get off on this topic, I'm just going to deal with it a little bit. It wasn't that they didn't want the little prayer room to happen, because I'd rather have a prayer room happen next door to me than a party house.
Yeah.
Any day. It was, some people specifically said, we don't want them to move in. There was a restaurant that looks like it's doing well on Jefferson that they came for a permit. I can't refuse a permit because of somebody's ethnicity.
Right. Yep.
Literally said, we don't want another Arab store. No.
And for the record, that building is up for sale now. But
is it up for sale?
Yeah.
I thought he was doing good in the building. So but he probably gonna make double of what he.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, you can cancel everybody, but you still going out to the suburbs. Don't make me preach. You're still going out to the suburbs. Then if you cancel everything in your community based on ethnicity, you're still going out to the suburbs and supporting other people. And we still don't have an influx of in-ground pools in the city, swimming pools.
No.
But you're going to go and you're going to spend money with a corporation or make other people filthy rich.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to contribute to your community.
Absolutely.
They're not going to live in your community. They're going to live in the suburbs, and they're not even going to come into your community except to check the bank.
I was reading a book on black economics, Kwanzaa Kunjufu wrote. And it's just kind of bizarre. When you read it, it's so real. It's like, black people would rather go 5 miles to save 10 cents instead of spending in the neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We won't spend it in our neighborhood, but we'll go 5 miles to spend it out in the suburbs. And that's the reason why, again, we lose a lot of services and resources because you rather spend it somewhere else than to spend it in your neighborhood.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and big ups to our online crew. Big ups to Rhonda Moss Lee. We're praying for you. And everybody's saying happy holidays. India Walton is on. She says further makes the case for electing working class folks. You have to have some working class folks. And people who, and I want some people who have been through something. I want some people who have had some financial hardships, because I think they'll be more sensitive, especially at all levels of government. I'm not saying everybody's got to be that way, but I want you to have tasted some bitter water.
Right.
Or else you don't know.
You sound like Moses.
Taste some bitter water. That's it. India says they refuse to negotiate with them to officially recognize the union. Of course, they're not going. They're going to stay away as far as they can. But here's my point. We often, and I'm just going to say it because I'm 60 years old. I've been in this community most of my life, besides going to college and serving my country. So I have every right to say whatever I feel. So I'm going to say it. We examine what's right in front of us. So we'll go, bad common council, bad this, like right on the, just, and miss. I would be okay if some of these people who have so much to say were also examining higher things. Federal government, state government, figuring it out. But we will examine people in our own communities who are providing something and demonize them instead of educating us. Now, when I start spitting education, y'all think that I'm on somebody's side. I'm on the side of right. And I'm on the side of progress.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so store opens, what you gonna do? Because stores open all the time. You don't know who owned Dollar General?
Nope.
You don't know who getting the real bucks off of a Dollar General. And I'm not, thank God they will come in. A lot of people, they horrible, but they're here. And one of the things that makes them horrible, number one, and I worked in retail, folks. I was loss prevention manager for Hills. we were never going to open up a Hills in certain neighborhoods because of something called shrinkage.
Absolutely.
And that's theft, pure theft.
Basic economics.
Basic economics. Transparently, when I had the subway here, I got ripped off more by my employees.
Yeah.
My employee, and then later in life, they admit it. Like, yeah, such was ripping you off. I had a manager, and I can say it because it's true, was taking every day a certain money out of the register. And you would have to put, like, why you were taking out. She would just put supplies.
So, and it's funny because some of these people who are complaining about this particular store that's open, and I'm going to say it, he didn't ask for 1 penny from the city.
I saw you said that.
Not 1 penny. And we want businesses that aren't looking for us. We're broke. So,
but you know the rumor, we give them tax breaks.
No,
not we, because I ain't there.
No.
Y'all give them tax breaks.
No, and that's not true. But people keep believing it. It's like, look at AI. Maybe AI can explain it because you won't.
It's not true.
But it's not true.
The big deal, and I sat on ECIDA that gives loans and all that. Never did a small store come for ECIDA break. It was always the larger corporations.
Right.
Only a few people came when we were not giving out money, when we were granting and loaning money to smaller, just a few. So if we have to do anything, and I encourage those who do Kwanzaa and all that, let's educate.
Absolutely.
Because what other folks are doing, whether you like it or not, whether you like me saying this or not, it's working for them.
Yep.
And let me just spit the truth. They're not getting their dough and buying designer.
No.
A belt buckle.
No.
For $500.
Nope.
They're not going out and buying stuff they can't afford. And they're making sure their kids get a great education in the same schools where our children sit. And if y'all don't like that real reality, I'm sorry. But somebody got to spit it to you for real. We got to get ourselves together. If we're going to Kwanzaa and we're going to Kugi Jagalia and we're going to do all that kind of stuff, I mean that from my heart. We got to be able to, and then when somebody my age and somebody my stage calls it out, and then other people, he wrong, somebody got to be able to say to them, no, you're wrong.
Absolutely.
What the man is saying, we got to get ourselves together. If you don't believe it, watch politics. Because right now, here I go, turning the corner before I go to the commercial. So I hear there's going to be another person in the race. Payne is coming in the race now. And I ain't got nothing to say. What I tell y'all, I ain't know you. All I'm telling you, I'm just giving y'all information. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yep. No, you're right. And
but I tell you this, when other folks run soon, they're going to have one horse in the race.
Yep.
And they're going to take all of their collective money. If you really want to know the truth, right now, this ain't come from God. I believe if they decided to run for mayor, it would be a real race. Because when I tell you, when the mosque opens, ain't nobody, they ain't got no Facebook page.
Nope.
They don't have no flyers. They ain't got no billboards.
Just a sound.
All they got is a sound. That's a good.
That's a word.
Ooh, that's a word right there. That's a word right there. They have a unifying sound. So how you gonna be mad? And you can be, but I'm about my business.
That's it.
And like you said, or even about the whole Kwanzaa principles are really from the Middle Eastern culture. So yeah, they just don't call it Kwanzaa, but it's the same principles from where we all came from.
Will you speak? So I'm a supporter. Right. India asked a question that's kind of interesting. I'm interested in the reason why people believe retail theft is more prevalent. I thought she was saying it wasn't, but I know for a fact it is. But why, she says, in black neighborhoods? Is it because we have less access to wealth or because of our character? So I ain't going to put it off on character. And that's a real interesting thought. What do you think?
No, I do think it's a lack of access to wealth. I mean, when you think about job opportunities, they're not right here in our neighborhoods. Many times you got to catch buses and that. So, and we're not getting the same types of salaries that others are getting. So it is a lack of wealth and access that may drive people to steal and thieve.
Sean, you shook your head no. Or you shook your head kind of.
I think it's both.
Okay.
I saw an article, an interview with D.L. Hughley today. He made a very important statement, and hate me for saying it or not, but he said we have less access to it, but the access that we have, we don't make ourselves presentable for it. And his was simple. It was like, black men don't smile a lot. He said, you look at a lot of pictures and stuff, and people don't smile. And he referred to Maggie Johnson. He said, when you see Maggie Johnson, he's always smiling. He always makes himself presentable. He's a millionaire. He's made millionaire deals because when he goes in front of those people who have more money than him, he smiles. He makes himself presentable. He's not an angry black man.
All right.
He makes himself acceptable instead of saying, y'all don't give us any money. Y'all don't make anything available for us.
So I was loss prevention manager. It's not just black people stealing. So I want to be clear on that. A lot of times it's people who are less wealthy.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
I was going to say, you got to watch the Netflix special Stamped from the Beginning, because it is not character. It is just basic economics. But because we are stamped from the beginning with certain things, it does seem like, oh, it's always them. Oh, you can't put a store there because they don't have it. But again, the basic economics is and you guys all took economics classes and business classes, you look at the numbers and you look at disposable income for a neighborhood and if you can support a store. So whether it's loss prevention or not, if the average household in a neighborhood only has $100 extra, you're not putting a Wegmans there.
Absolutely.
You're not putting.
Because you're not going to make money.
You're not going to make money, and all you're doing is tempting loss prevention and shrinkage.
Well, and we're going to go over to the station. Station, get ready. But I'll leave you with this thought before we go to commercials. Let's not act also as if some people are not given the ideology.
That's it.
They got it.
Absolutely.
So take it from them. It ain't going to make any difference. And I think even when I had employees here who were stealing, flat out stealing. And when I had it, I would, like me, I'd cover them and let them go or whatever. I didn't make a big deal, but I had to, but there was a mentality, True Bethel got it.
Yeah.
Even if we had it, we don't have it like that. But if you had it, it doesn't give you a right to take what somebody else has earned. I'm coming over to the station in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally, 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free, 877-885-7734. Or email info at BrianKLewisFuneralHome.com.
So, real quick, because I got to get to this next subject, Sean is here, and Sean was an official, or one of the officials for the Army-Navy game, and we were just talking about it. How was that experience?
You can't put it into words. It's considered college football Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's everything, all the pomp and circumstance that comes along with it is just amazing. It's the 125th year, and to be able to be selected to do that game is just the creme de la creme. It's like the
All right.
crown jewel.
All right, congratulations. We're proud. I missed the game. I'm really mad. I wanted to see you out there in the field, and like when you made decisions, go, nah, you suck. Get some glasses. Shuki says, I was at Nordstrom's on the boulevard yesterday, and the lady who stole in broad daylight did not look like me. That's what I'm saying. Theft. Kobe Lewis, I thought it was Kobe Brown. I was like, wow. What are your thoughts on the Marketplace Trade Center that was developed at Walden Avenue? I don't know anything about it. I'd have to find out. You let me know. And I'm going to go to the subject, but Veronica Ivy says post-traumatic slave syndrome was not my first thought when I seen the viral photo of the guy stealing the gumball machine during the snowstorm. Do you focus more on the why or the solution? All right. I love it. Lily Miller Holloway says, I'm a counselor today, but I was a retail manager 30 years ago, and my staff was stealing from the store. I wasn't aware until inventory was done. Some of the people who stole, it just broke my heart, but it is what it is. I don't know where we get that thought. So American Rescue money was the over $300 million that 331 received for. The money was meant to change the communities for the better after the pandemic. If you've been following this story, a lot of groups didn't get the money they were promised. Now, I'm just going to say it, and this ain't against anybody. So this is just facts, and I was there. When the money hit Buffalo, some people, I ain't saying some people, and not the Common Council, so I want people to be clear. We were hearing about disbursements in news breaks.
The same time you did.
At the same time everybody else did. And my exact words were, the administration is not Santa Claus. There needs to be a process. I said this. I said people shouldn't just be handed money because the government has it. There should be results. What are we looking for when we hand out this money? I said it. But we all said it. And the entire Common Council, so I want to be clear and just be fair. Because now there's an acting mayor, but I can't put that on him because he was a council member. And we were all asking the same thing. How is the money going to be distributed? And this is what people have to understand about government. We have what's called a strong mayor form of government in the city. So the mayor will come to the Common Council, has to get approval, but then where it goes, the administration handles. Now, possibly, we could either lose how much money is left?
It's supposed to be 40 million, but the number is changing.
The number changes every day like the weather, the temperature.
Yeah, so we don't
So that means, and I want to say, in big ups, we were able to get, so the Johnny B. Wiley, I'm going to take that credit. We got $20 million so the work you see going on at Johnny B. Wiley, the council voted for it.
Right.
I advocated for it, and I'm going to get a former administration the credit where it's due. They also had to be, they were in agreement.
Right.
So I always wanted Johnny B. Wiley to be redone. It's getting redone now. But there's a lot of groups that are not going to get the money, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And the city could end up taking the money to fill budget gaps. And then I read this morning that the money that was set aside, which I did not agree with because I didn't like the process. And I said it because, again, out and about, I hear, we're going to give money to pay people's water bill. Here was my question. How are you going to decide?
Right.
What's the process? Before you make an announcement you're going to pay people's water bills, how are you going to decide? Allegedly, let me say allegedly, that money never went out the door, and it was being used for infrastructure projects in water. Now, Folks will say, why didn't the Common Council know that? Because the water board is a separate quasi-government.
Right.
They have their own board, just like Bureau and Butsy. They have their own board.
And as we learned in the paper, those board meetings were not at City Hall.
They were not at City Hall. So there was no, I remember doing a resolution to have every single government body have to have not only a public meeting, but to be broadcast. I think that just got received and filed when I left.
Yep. Because it doesn't matter. They don't listen to and worry about the people. But at the time, right now, the people are suffering because, the Frontline Arts Group came to us on Tuesday. They were promised a lump sum of money from the American Rescue. They went through the process, filling out the paperwork. Oh, no, you didn't fill out the paperwork right. They were working with Ujima Theater. Ujima did their paperwork from October of 2022 to current, and Ujima's not getting any money. And so, as you said about
Ujima.
Process, Ujima,
who has been in our community. Let somebody talk about that.
Yeah. So,
did they do the paperwork?
Ujima has their documentation. I mean, he gave me a timeline that's written of what they've done since October of 2022. And you wait until December of 2024 to say, oh, we're not going to give y'all no money. So if in my mind, I'm saying, if you weren't going to give them the money in the beginning, then I would have been corresponding with you. So you had to give me some inference that I was going to get something. But at the end, they're getting nothing.
So this is where I am baffled. And I'm just sitting back eating my popcorn. So this ain't, like I said, I'm a person that deals with systems and not people.
Yes, sir.
So where people will go, such and such is bad, or so, I'm a systems thinker. That's what my degree. I deal with systems.
Yes, sir.
So somewhere here, there's a problem in the system because you got Ray Miller, who got $500,000,
$561,000
through a conversation. Y'all love going to them.
Plus $500,000 from Simonelli, so it's 1.6.
And then you have on the other hand these groups where the money was supposed to go to change communities, and especially those who suffer the most. And if you give people who need it most the hardest time, and they don't have, I ain't gonna keep saying I said, but it can be documented. I promise you can go back to meetings, you can see. I wanted there to be somebody, and I was told there would be, on hand to help the small businesses so that they could get through the process. You can't say to a mom and pop, because I know somebody personally who went to apply and then they were told they couldn't apply because they didn't live in the city of Buffalo, but their business was in the city of Buffalo. Then that got changed. They were never re-notified. So when I went to this particular place that's owned by African Americans for a long time in our city, and they said, yeah, we went to apply, but I said, y'all didn't know it changed? No, nobody told us. But I've seen government, I've seen it, folks, bend over backwards. I got calls sometime at 1 a.m. Can this happen in the morning? No, it can't. No, it can't.
But the thing is, from the people from the Frontline Arts Group to Ujima Theater, when you hear their complaint, it's the same thing we heard in Chambers from these other businesses who said, well, I sent this information and nobody got back to me. It's the same thing. So, again, you did for who you wanted to do for, but those other people who may not have been connected, we didn't do anything for.
So I'm concerned, and I don't think we're going to lose the money. Now, you all didn't have a meeting Monday. But there's a you didn't have your call meeting the other day. It was supposed to be a special
session yesterday, and they canceled it, and then they did a press conference.
So they canceled that because, from what I'm hearing, you hear, so you could tell it, but because there were still questions.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm rather glad they canceled it. Ask the questions, but make it public. Make whatever the questions are. What's the problem? And have some detail for the public. But now we under the gun because you all have to make a decision by Monday.
But this is the thing we've been talking from day one. We don't want to wait till to get to the end to have these conversations. I said it back in June. we don't want to wait to get the last minute. And here we are again. As you know, there's always the sky is falling. We got to get this done. Well, now we know we got to get it done. But you waited to the last minute in order to do this. And these organizations who were promised this money, who made other arrangements because they thought they were going to get this money, they took, used some of their reserve monies because they thought they were going to get this money, and now not to get it, it's just a sham.
Well, so couldn't it be? It can't be parked in another organization or another nonprofit as a pass-through, even. Like that's.
Yeah, but those are some of the questions that we'll ask. But again,
but you got to ask them Monday now.
Right, but those are the things that again. We've been asking all along because what the mantra for the council has always been: let's get this money out, let's get this money out, let's get this money out. And we're always given the song and dance where we're working. We got to make sure we're following this. And now we're finding out that part of the money was used as a capital money for one of the organizations. one of the groups for the city. And so it's a lot of back and forth and misinformation, and it's just a shame. And now here we're at the final hour, and there's all this confusion.
So this has to be voted on Monday, right? Or do you have next week after Christmas?
I'm not sure. We're going to have the conversation on Monday where we're going to be talking. But my problem is, why isn't the people who are being affected have an opportunity to talk?
So I want to encourage and I'm a citizen, but I encourage the leaders of the city of Buffalo. Get in a room and figure it out. And those groups that were promised money, because I was there and I kept saying, why are people telling people that they're getting money that the Common Council has not even voted on? And because he's public with it, I said to Reverend Giles, when I was standing there when he was told verbally that their group was getting
$2 million.
No, it was more. It wasn't no $2 million. It was $4 to $5 million.
Well, what he said in the newspaper, and I'm just going by what was reported in the paper, it was $2 million, and then it was reduced, and then it was reduced, and then it was reduced to $500,000, and thus far he's only.
Hold on, I got a call from City Hall. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. Hold on, let me see if I can get my volume up. Try it again, caller. Caller?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello?
You're on the air.
Hi, dear. Hi, this is Barbara Miller Williams. Who am I speaking with?
The comptroller. You're talking to Darius Pridgeon.
Hello there, dear.
Hey, comptroller. We welcome your call. I'm glad you called. What's your thoughts?
Listen, as you know, I'm moving, I'm grooving, I'm trying to listen in on the show, multitask, all of the above. And as I'm listening to the show this morning, the information is being shared, in particular about the ARPA funding. You're right on target. You're right on point. It is a lot of finger pointing going on. There's a lot of blame being cast. At the end of the day, I want to echo what you just said. We need for the administration and the Common Council to get themselves in one room. I remain open, available, and transparent as a comptroller to provide any kind of financial guidance that's needed. But we need for them to get into the room to figure this out. Just like we know that Christmas comes every year on December 25th, we all knew for 3 years that December 31st, 2024 was going to be here. How in the world we found ourselves in this state of scrambling in the 11th hour to get approximately $31 million out the door is beyond my imagination. At the end of the day, the only solution right now is for those two bodies to stop pointing fingers at each other, to stop trying to blame, to stop trying to say who did or didn't do what. You got to figure it out. We cannot afford to lose that money. That money will definitely fall back into the federal government coffers. We cannot allow that to happen. There are ways to move that money. Will those groups who were promised the money receive the amount they were promised? Absolutely not, because it is not going to be available. But there are opportunities to figure out something. Because right now, there's a lot of spinning, a lot of turning, a lot of finger pointing, and we deserve better than that. So even though that is not my lane, I am not in the administration. I am not a legislator. However, I'm watching every nickel, dime, quarter, dollar, penny, and I want to make sure that we don't lose anything that we're entitled to in the city of Buffalo. And so watching what's going on, I'm disturbed. I'm discouraged because the clock is ticking. December 31st, 2024, a solution must be in place.
Thank you. That's the controller of the city of Buffalo. I didn't even give out the number. She had to find that number.
I'm sure.
Now, I got to say this, big ups, that the controller found the phone number into the control room or into the studio and called in. I've said this before. When you're elected, open your mouth. Open your mouth. You don't get elected and then you sit there with your hands folded. Yep. So I was there. I sat at that table for 12 years. I sat at that table as the leader for 10 years. There have been many crises that were averted because we got in a room. Mm-hmm. We figured it out and we made it public. And we heard from the public. I'm not going to say we were perfect at it. No way. There's no such thing. But I agree, and I'm glad the controller agrees. You got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And that money needs to hit the streets. I'm sorry. I get it. Budget deficit. But people suffered during COVID, and that's what the money was sent for. And yes, it was sent to also help municipalities, but not at the level that it was being done. And folks, I'm telling you, I sat there. I know what these guys and these ladies are going through who are elected. But at the end of the day, there was usually a last minute, the sky is falling. And you complained about it a lot.
And I'm going to say it because I don't want nobody saying I'm not turning to win and I'm not pointing fingers. I've been saying it all along. And I think the council, and I'm not talking about nobody, I'm talking about the council has been very deliberate. Why is this money getting out? We're not the administration. We're the ones that's pushing, because a lot of these groups will call me and say, well, I applied, I sent my information in, and they wouldn't get it. And now we're at the final hour. We didn't want to be at the final hour. We've used our mouth. We used the bully pulpit of what we could do. It's up to the administration. So I'm not going to sit here and let anybody point the finger at us, because at the end of the day, I'm pointing the finger back where the finger needs to be. But at the end of the day, they need to make some decisions on how we get this money out, because the groups that came to us yesterday, a couple of days ago, and they have been engaged since October of 2022. That ain't had nothing to do with the council. That had something to do with the administration. And then again, it goes back to what you said in the very beginning. And I thought we all were hoping to get a system or process in place, but the
we were told there was.
Yeah, we were.
You can go back and look at it. If you could search, I don't think the Common Council's meeting anymore are handwritten. I'm not sure how you'd be able to search it, but if you go back and search
our finance committee,
you are able to see that question was asked over and over, and people sat at that microphone and they said, we got a process. We're doing it. It'll be, don't worry. And we kept saying it. I've been gone a year. I've been gone an entire year.
Same thing.
And it's the same. We heard the same thing, and we got to put it. So I'm with Barbara, but I'm with the controller. So, I doubled down on this.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you all have to work all night. You remember the night budget where some people got upset because council members actually went into a room and worked until the wee hours of the morning,
2-3 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely.
To make sure that we whittled that budget down and we came out together. So at the end of the day, this is big money. This is big money. But when this money is gone, like right now, there should be conversation about this next budget, and it shouldn't be a fight between the administration, who actually is a part of the Common Council, and the Common Council. This should be a time of great unity. This should be a time where you're not learning stuff in the press and where everybody gets in a room. And I don't mean secretly for somebody to say, when I say get in the room, I'm saying there are times you got to take 3 council members and 4 council members and the administration, and you got to sit in the room and say, how are we coming out of this so our people are better? Because at the end of the day, this is not about races. This is not about running for mayor. Nope. We're fighting for our lives out here. And at the end of the day, that money was supposed to change communities.
You know, Bishop, I mean, you remember the very first beginning process of this that we went through and all our wish lists for our districts, and we've had these high hopes that we were going to have these dollars to really change things. And It didn't happen.
Well, India says vote no, but here's the problem, because a lot of people will say vote no.
Can't.
If there's no such thing as vote no. If you vote no and nobody does anything,
The money goes back.
The money goes back to the federal government. And I'm just going to say this. If that money goes back to the federal government, everybody who has responsibility should worry about being reelected.
I agree.
Everybody. So figure it out, folks. People voted you in. They don't care. Listen, former administration then danced on and over there smiling at a new place. So you can take this week and spend all your energy blaming the former administration. They're gone. So now it's time for real leadership in our city. And for everybody, the Common Council and the administration, I urge you, work together. And those people who have been in our community for so long, whose lives and organizations should be changed, they deserve for you all to work together and get it done. I'll be watching from home, but I'll be watching. Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning, 874 East Delavan. Listen, folks, take your stuff over to Hobson. I just got a big haul from Hobson's. And if you don't know about their new text messaging system, they will text you when your clothes are ready. I love it. Order number, you go in, you pick up your clothes. Hobson's, they're keeping up with the technology. I love Hobson's, the doctor of dry cleaning. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, 3 locations to serve you: 347 Peckham Street, 2528 Bailey, and 1275 Sycamore. In your hour of need, Brian K. Lewis. He's taking care of our deacon, Deacon Thomas Allen, who went on to be with the Lord. He just took care of our other deacon, Deacon Reeves. And he has all these other folks listed that he's taking care of this week. In your hour of need, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. Listen, I got to get out of here. We're going to be watching, y'all. We're going to be watching. Until then, all I got is popcorn. But it is a very serious issue, and I do want to thank the controller again for calling and being a voice, and not just being in the office, but saying publicly, so we're encouraging you. We're praying for you, because I know it's a tough job. Until next week, we say
Power to the people.